Hello everyone and welcome back to another War Thunder video. Today we're going to be looking at yet another replay from yours truly, and we are going to be revisiting one of my favorite tanks in this entire game, or tank destroyers, assault guns if you have to be specific. The Stug III. I absolutely adore this little vehicle. If you haven't played this thing for yourself, I highly recommend it. I would say that this is probably one of, if not the best, casemate tank destroyers in the entire game. There are obviously better tank destroyers, mainly the turreted ones, but you really can't top the Stug III, especially at 4.0 where it is now. This is actually the Italian Stug, as I've been starting to grind my Italian tree a little bit. It's one of the few trees that I haven't actually gotten up to top tier. I haven't finished with the Chinese tree, although I'm most of the way up where I want to be with that one. The Israeli tree, because I just don't really have any interest in the vehicles in that. The Italian tree, and then there's also a couple things in some of the other trees I haven't finished grinding yet, but for the most part I have the vehicles that I like to play in that. But I digress. We are grinding Italy today, as I punch right through that T-34, because this fantastic Pack 40, I think that Pack 40 is what this thing has, basically, the 75mm. Just an amazing, phenomenal cannon at this BR. We're going to be pushing up onto the point here. And, I don't know, I don't really know what to talk about in this replay, to be completely honest. It's just, I had so much fun with this, and I think it's such a great example of how powerful this little tank can be, that I hope you guys will enjoy it as well. We're going to be moving up to support our bigger brother over here, the Jagdpanzer IV, which is another phenomenal casemate tank destroyer. I would say that it's pretty much on par with the Stug. The only reason I like the Stug a little bit more is because the lower matchmaking, the lower BR I should say, for the Stug gives it slightly better matchmaking. But the Jagdpanzer IV and the Jagdpanzer 470 are both just amazing vehicles. The Jagdpanzer 470 especially, because that thing with the Panther gun at 5.3, although there are Panthers at 5.3 now, it's still a phenomenal tank. But Jagdpanzer 4 is also exceptional. Good armor and a phenomenal gun means you're basically invulnerable frontally to anything. Very similar to the Stug. This thing has a very funky little bit of frontal armor to it that just kind of bounces Shermans and even some guns that you would never expect it to bounce. I've bounced like Panthers and stuff with these things before, because the armor is just a very strange layout. But here we are able to get some snapshots into the was that a Sherman Firefly, I believe, as we begin to push over to sea. Another great thing about this vehicle is, as it's on the Panzer III chassis, it is quite mobile, which is not something you could say for all German tank destroyers. In fact, it is the exception rather than the rule. This line is fairly decent. All of the closed-topped ones are fairly good until you get up to the Ferdinand, but the open-topped vehicles, not only can they basically just be strafed to death by anything with guns, but they're not exceptionally fast. I've had good games with the Steyr Mill. In fact, I'll put a card up in the corner if you want to check out a really good game that I had in that thing, as we absolutely smack that seal clubbing KV-1A and then turn to deal with his friend. But the Steyr Mill, the Dickermax, and the Nashorn, although they can be very strong in very specific scenarios, I find that the Stug is just kind of a good all-around vehicle. If you have this thing in your lineup, it will come in handy at one point or another as we clean up yet another Russian tank. Now we're going to be creeping up. I see some smoke from a shot over here and creep in. Just one thing that I always have to mention, because otherwise I'm going to get called an arcade player in the comments, which there's nothing wrong with playing arcade. But this is actually an RB match. The only reason you can see markers is because of the replay system. I wish I didn't have to reiterate this every single time, but there are probably people who have never watched one of my videos like this before, so I just feel the need to reiterate that. This guy, on the other hand, I could actually see because his marker was on the map, so thankfully I'm able to kill him, stop him from spawn camping, and get back to capping the point. We are now on to 7 kills with the Stug, And I don't think we've taken... No, we've taken one single shot so far, if I'm remembering correctly. And it was a bounce. So it just kind of goes to show the low-profile, sneaky nature of the Stug, especially if you put bushes on this thing, which I haven't yet. But with bushes or just sneaky and the speed, make this thing absolutely amazing. There's a reason why there were old memes of this for Stug Life, although most of that was World of Tanks, which I know that's... I should have even mentioned that. The cardinal sin. I'm sure many of you are cringing. As I advance, I was trying to go up and take this point as a Valentine pops around the corner. Unfortunate for him. And now we're kind of stuck in a stand-up with a T-34E. But this is actually going to be a really good example of how good the armor on the Stug can be. The T-34E has, if I'm remembering correctly, the F-96 cannon, which is essentially the same as the ZIS-5. I could be wrong. It's the Russian 76. I don't know which one exactly. But this one... Oh, no, this is the older one, I believe. The same one is on the KV-1E. So it has about 80 millimeters of penetration. Between 80 and 100, we'll just say. I can't remember the cannon off the top of my head. Correct me in the comments. I'm sure you will already. But I'm kind of struggling to pen him a little bit because this is the T-34STZ, which has the improved frontal armor. And you can see he's struggling to pen us as well, but I am finally able to slip one into his side. The reason I was having trouble penning him is because that tank has an additional 35 or 30 millimeters of armor on the front, something like that. So actually it's only 20. It has 65 millimeters sloped instead of 45, which, as you know from shooting T-34 driver's hatches, is exceptionally good. Unfortunately, because of the magic of Russian overmatching and the fact that side armor on the Stug is not exceptionally good, the T-34E is able to get my gunner and then kill me. So good play by him. Can't fault him there. Don't mind me as I get rid of all of these things that pop up on the side anytime you die in this game. Very annoying. I'm now going to spawn in a plane, although I don't really accomplish... Oh, no, that plane will come later. Now I'm in my... And I'm probably going to butcher this, so apologies to any Hungarian viewers. The Zrinyi... I'm not really sure how you pronounce this thing. I'm sure it's probably a very simple pronunciation for you guys, but I don't speak Hungarian, so unfortunately it's not easy for me. I'm just going to kind of ditch all these rockets. I kind of always just volley them because I figure at some point I'll just get some meme kill with it and then I'll laugh for quite a while. But for the most part, these rockets are unfortunately useless. There's no way to really aim them. There's no indicator on your scope. You can't really... I don't... They're just... You can't aim them straight in front of you. I don't really understand why Gaijin added this vehicle the way they did. I get that they don't want the rockets to be overpowered, but you get 6 of them, and it's not like you're going to be hitting somebody every time you fire one, so I don't really understand why they made it this way. But I digress. We're going to be moving up and helping our team to cap. So far, we're doing all right, but the situation is going to deteriorate very quickly. Saying hello to our Flak 88 friend, who I think does actually save us later. But I'm going to advance around because I believe I caught some glimpses of some people pushing over here. So we're just going to zip up. This vehicle is quite quick, although its mobility isn't the greatest, if that makes any sense. It kind of has a poor power to weight ratio, I think, or either that or it has very bad ground resistance. It's fast, but it doesn't have good acceleration. So originally I was going to start heading this way, and then this BTR starts shooting at me. I'm able to immobilize him. Thankfully, the BTR doesn't quite have enough pen to go through the front of my vehicle. He probably could have gone through the side, but luckily he isn't able to. Oh, that's what the 88 helps me with. He finishes that off. So I swing around. I actually catch a shot from the SMK. Good shot by him. I think he hits right by my gun and is able to pen and kill some of my crew. Very unfortunate. Another thing about this vehicle, the armor is not exceptionally good. It's on paper, it's decent, but in practice, it's not very good. Which is weird, because I think it has about the same as the Stug, but it just is more flat, so it does not perform nearly as well. And you would think on paper that this thing, I would like it, because it's very much like the Stug, and I don't dislike this vehicle. In some cases, it can be very good, but I just have not had as good of luck with it as the Stug. Currently, I'm trying to wait for that SMK to push, and you can see I kind of was looking behind me because I assume that AA is pushing up, and I'm going to be correct because he's going to come around and kill me. But kind of in this situation, there's not a whole heck of a lot I can do. If I turn around, the SMK is probably just going to push and then shoot me in the ass, and if I keep looking at the SMK, the AA is going to come and shoot me in the butt. So there's not a great situation here. Although I am able to knock out the front turret on the SMK, and I start to advance on him, and I think, yeah, I was hoping I could lower plate him to immobilize him. I push, and then the AA shows up and is like, oh, hello there, weakly armored tank destroyer. Although it takes him quite a while to kill me. I think he just wasn't placing his shots very well, but I am now dead. And I think this is now when I bring out the plane, which I'm going to cut a little bit of because I don't think you guys want to watch me fly in for like 2 minutes. Alright, and we are back. Apologies for the extreme, like, seasickness giving level of shakiness with this camera. I don't really know why the replay does this. If you know how to fix this, please let me know. I don't really show plane stuff because of that. But I'm going to come in and we do a little revenge bombing to kill that SMK. Although, I did feel that the SMK was a pretty important target to knock out. Heavy tank, when most of our stuff is dying, is kind of always a good target. But the I-16 is going to come in and show me why I no longer need a tail. So that goes about as well as you expect. And we are now spinning out of control with that. Man, replay cameras are something else in this game. I really hope Gaijin does some more fixes to this, because I really like doing this sort of content, but the replay system of this game just makes it incredibly annoying. So, we are now back in another of the vehicles that I really, really enjoy playing in this game, the OG Sherman. Although in this case, this is the M4A4, so long Sherman. But nevertheless, Sherman, very good. We're also going to get a good look at how exactly to kill a KV-1 when you're in a KV-1E, I should say, in a vehicle like this. I kind of screw up a couple of these shots against this T-34 STZ, and that's just kind of both my luck, bad aim, and a little bit of Gaijin just absorbing the shots into parts of vehicles that shouldn't really absorb shots. But I've knocked out the breach of this KV-1. You might wonder why I was being a little bit nervous, and as you can see, he fires at me because most KV-1E players have a very good crew on their tank, so you have to be a little bit careful here. Now, I probably should have been a little bit more aggressive and rushed him here, but I figured he was already so low on crew that I could probably just kill him, and I'm kind of trying to shoot here and knock out his breach, but for some reason, KV-1Es have, like, notoriously tough to knock out breaches, so kind of advancing here, and finally I get around to his side, and of course, side shot doesn't pen. Bad shot on my part, I should have just kept moving. But I am eventually able to get the rear of his turret, and now he's dead. Also able to just barely catch that SU-152. A little bit of a nerve-wracking moment there, because you never want to leave an SU-152 with its gun pointing at you, although we'll see later that that's not always the case. Now advancing towards C, this battle is, like I said, has gone from winnable to not a very good situation, to put it lightly. We've got our little Stug friend, and we're going to be moving up, recapturing C, and then attempting to do a rush straight to B. That's kind of the only chance that I have here. Our team on the other side is completely caught in spawn, and if I don't slow the ticket bleed, we've basically lost. I probably should have gone onto this cap, decapped it, and then gone to B, and then had the Stug cap the point, but as you can see, he's kind of already just driven away, so good chance that we would have lost regardless. But the fact that we the fact that we win or lose is not why I was recording this replay. As you can see, we're up to 13 kills now, and I'm not quite done yet, so I felt that this was a very good replay. Just about done capping, and then we're going to, like I said, make a beeline for B, and we don't quite make it, but I'm able to just dodge that 29K, And I just wait. I had a feeling he was going to peek out again. For some reason, there's been a lot of 29K players out lately. If you know why, let me know. I know it went down in VR, but that's not an exceptionally good vehicle. And, yeah, like I was alluding to earlier, SU-152 hits into our turret and does nothing. Guessing he was firing AP and caught at a weird angle. I'm not really sure. That shell should have gone clean through and killed me, but hey, I'll take 15 kills, 4 caps. That was an exceptionally good game, although unfortunately our team did not perform as well as we needed. But I hope you guys did enjoy that video, because that's all I've got for you today. Make sure to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one.